Welcome to this week's St. Clair County Board of Commissioners meeting. The types of business that occur at these meetings include public hearings, official voting on actions by the Board of Commissioners, presentations by departments of the county, and recognition of service that makes our county great. As your elected representatives, the St. Clair County Board of Commissioners is committed to improving the lives of all our residents while preparing county government to meet the demands of the future. In order to do that, we need to share our thoughts and plans with you. More importantly, we need you to share your thoughts, concerns, and opinions with us. We encourage you to come and experience the process by attending any of these meetings. They occur every first and third Thursday of the month at 6 p.m. at the St. Clair County Administration Building at 200 Grand River Avenue in Port Huron.
Meeting to order. May I have a roll call, please?
Commissioner McConnell, Commissioner Heidemann, Commissioner Bohm. Here. Commissioner Dunn.
Here.
Commissioner Rushing.
Here.
Commissioner Graytop.
Here.
Commissioner Baldwin.
Here. Please stand and join me for the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Are there any additions, deletions, or changes to the agenda?
I'll make a motion that we approve the agenda as presented. Support.
Thank you. Any citizens wishing to be heard this evening?
We need I'm sorry, Commissioner Ball, we need all in favor.
I'm sorry. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carries. Any citizens wishing to be heard? Hearing none. I believe we have any updates? No conceptual initiatives, no old business. So moving on to item number 7A, the library board reappointment of David Whipple to serve until 2024.
I'll make a motion that we extend his sentence, his appointment for 5 more years, ending 8/26/2019.
Or
That it goes to the full board.
2024.
Pardon me?
2024.
Yes.
Yeah, but on
Yes.
the thing, it's listed.
Yeah.
I know, yes, it should be.
Support. It's 5 years. Motion to send it on the full board for 5 years.
2024. Thank you. I have a motion, I have a support. Any questions, comments? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. 7B, the copier lease agreement request from the library.
I'd make a motion to send this to the full board.
Support?
Thank you. Any questions, comments? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. 7C, the copier maintenance agreement request from the library.
I'll make a motion, we send that to the full board.
Support.
I have a motion, I have a support. Any questions, comments? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item 8, other human service matters. Hearing none. 9, information only. A, the St. Clair County Health Department July points of interest.
Make a motion, we receive and file.
Thank you. I have a
Support.
Thank you. Any questions, comments? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Motion to receive and file packets.
Second.
I have a motion, I have a support. Any questions, comments? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Motion to adjourn.
Support.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Meeting adjourned.
Nice.
6:02.
Fastest ever. 2 minutes. It's a record. Second fastest ever. Second?
Second fastest ever.
One time.
That's pretty impressive.
Good evening. I'd like to open up the St. Clair County Board of Commissioners Judiciary and Public Safety Committee meeting. Could I have a roll call, please?
Commissioner McConnell, Commissioner Baldwin,
Present.
Commissioner Heidemann, Commissioner Bohm,
Here.
Commissioner Rushing,
Still here.
Commissioner Graytop,
Here.
Commissioner Dunn.
Here. Item A, additions, deletions, changes to the agenda.
I'll make a motion, we make 2A into 7B.
Support.
Any questions or comments? All in favor?
Motion to approve the agenda as amended.
Support?
All in favor?
Aye.
Are there any citizens to be heard? Citizens to be heard. Going once, going twice, gone.
Oh, you have a,
Oh, I didn't see, I'm sorry.
Will she need to fill one out?
yes.
Could you fill out one of the tags?
Just give it to us when you're done.
Yeah, whenever
Sharon.
you're done, that's fine.
Go ahead.
All right. My question is just...
No, please go up there, please.
Sharon Bender, 2614 South Boulevard, Port Huron. My question is simply that, are we, by awarding this contract, getting some sort of benefit by the other entities that are also using this service? It was just interesting to me that none of our local medical facilities submitted any proposals.
Are you talking about the inmate medical?
Yes.
I think you could probably talk to Tom Bliss. We don't generally address you, but Tom can give you all the information.
Okay.
And we are
Thank you.
going to address it.
Thank you.
When the item comes up, I'll have him come up and
Thank you very much.
explain a few things. Any other citizens to be heard? Seeing none, are there any updates?
One.
Yeah, I have one too.
Okay, go ahead, Mr.
I just wanted to let everybody know that the dive team had their fundraiser out at Milk House last night, and they netted over $30,000, which more than doubles their budget. They get a budget of, I've seen two different figures, 22 or 25,000, but it doesn't matter. They got another 30,000 to work with last night from the community for the sponsors that were out there, and people like Administrator Hepting and myself and my wife eating tons and tons of ice cream. Yeah, I had never been out to that place. It's a great place to go. I'm going to be back out there now, Georgia. You really hooked me up with something good there, so thank you for that. But I just want to congratulate those guys. They're hardworking guys. They don't have much to work with, and a lot of what they do is done by raising funds. So that's it.
Thank you. Chairman Bohm.
Yeah, just so other commissioners, and I've received a couple phone calls lately, and I know some of the other commissioners have, regarding some of the weeds, ditching, those types of things. Talked with Kurt Weston, and I've reminded the residents that call me that we have major flooding issues going on in the southern part of the county, okay? Additional resources that we do have. I hate to say it, and don't try to be too blunt about it, but your ditching is not priority right now. The safety and well-being of residents in the southern part of the county are first priority. So if you do receive phone calls, and admittedly so, they have said that they have not been able to get to some of that work because of all the additional resources that they've had to deploy down there. And Bill, you live down there, you know, I mean, and you probably hear from Justin later, I mean, the water levels are high, they're probably going to continue to go up, so priority. And I guess after you kind of explain that to them, they simmer down a little bit, but, you know, that's just the fact of the matter. So if you see those calls, that's what's going on.
Thank you. Any other updates? Seeing none. Number 5, conceptual initiatives. Nothing. No old business. Moving on to new business. Item number 7A, inmate medical services, request to award.
Make a motion, we send it to the full board.
Support?
Any questions? Captain Bliss, could you come up for just a second, please? I'm not sure if you heard the question that was asked earlier.
Were you asking in reference to how many made a proposal to the RFP? There were 4 that were returned. 2 were staffing agencies, literally just staffing agencies, allowing or bidding just to give us staff without the other services that we needed. The other 2 that were left were Advanced Correctional Health Care and the Horizon Health, which is the one that we chose with.
Our local hospitals did not participate.
Neither hospital bid this time. They chose
And in the
not to.
past, Huron Medical had this.
Huron Medical has had it for probably the last, correct me if I'm wrong, Carrie, 5 years?
I think so.
I think it was a 3-year, and we went with 2, it might even be 6. We might have extended this last year on another extension beyond what was in the original
They
contract.
chose not to seek the business.
They chose not to,
Yes, so.
yeah. Because we addressed them at one point and wanted to work another extension, whether it be months or years, to help us transform into a new contract, and they just want out, so.
Commissioner Greatop.
Just for the public's information, we do try to, as much as possible, do business within the county. I personally would have been happy if either one of those would have bid it and gotten it. I would much prefer to do business that way, but since they opted not to do it, we didn't have much choice then but to go outside the county.
One of the things people need to realize, you're dealing with arguably the least healthy population that we have in St. Clair County. It's not, I mean, it's just a fact of the matter, the reality of it. It's not it's a very tough business to be in.
Correct.
And so the things that they deal with is, it's you know, it's a whole different, animal than normal healthcare delivery services.
Absolutely, and when Lake Huron first came on board, I think they got a fresh perspective in terms of that. There was a learning curve, is what I was looking for. There was a learning curve at first with them, but they brought on. Now, Horizon Healthcare, they've been in this profession. They're huge. They're nationwide. They've been in it forever. In fact, they currently hold the Michigan Department of Corrections Medical Inmate Services contract, along with Kent County, Saginaw County, Calhoun County, and Genesee.
Where are they located?
Their offices are in Brentwood, Tennessee, but they also have an office here locally in Lansing.
You wouldn't know if they, you wouldn't know if they do the state prison on 26 Mile Road.
Yes, that's part of the MDOC, yes.
I believe Commissioner Greatop had one more.
Happen to remember what I was going to ask you before. Looking at these contracts, and I don't know if you have the answer or not, Tom, but how does one go about bidding services for the jail inmate medical services? They have no idea who's going to be in that jail, what services they're going to need. So how does one sit down and calculate how much money they have to charge you in order to cover the cost that they don't know what it's going to be?
Well, in this particular case, and probably in ACHs and WellPass and all the other national companies that are out there, they have basis and some data to work on from previous contracts in terms of numbers, beds, areas, staffing needed, services requested, that type of thing. So they've got a formula, much like in insurance. They don't know what's going to happen to you. You know, they predict it. They have models and forms. And that, I think, to the best of my knowledge, that's kind of what they work with there.
If the cost is under, we don't get a rebate. If the cost is over, do we have to pony up?
No, if the cost is under on that $200,000 ancillary cost thing, we get the return.
Oh, you do?
And for the record, and checking, I mentioned before they had 4 counties here in the state. I don't know about Genesee, but all 3, Saginaw, Calhoun, and Kent, got money back. Because
And
the
if
way
it
they
goes
do
over,
theirs,
if it goes over,
it comes on to us, 100%, yes.
All right, so they're trying to get close and, all right, I'm with you now.
Yeah, and they take care of it. And with the services they had, they modeled us a lot after Calhoun County, which is really an apples to apples comparison to us.
Very good, thank you.
Any other questions?
Mayor?
Commissioner Baldwin?
My question would be, and maybe you can't answer this, but is there a potential for staffing to be hired locally that will work for this company, or do they bring?
Absolutely,
So-
absolutely. In fact, they are looking at, they're going to be here next Tuesday, looking at IT issues and some other things for this transition, but they're going to interview a lot of the current staff.
Okay.
And so they, generally, that's the standard practice with companies when they came in, whether it's food service, medical, anything along that line. If you've got local talent here, and especially if the entity, such as us, would like to keep those people, obviously we can make that request, and they're generally honored. And I've done that with other contracts.
Thank you.
Yep.
Any other questions? Thank you, Captain.
All right. Thank you.
We have a motion, we have support. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Item B, 2018 Homeland Security Grant Agreement with Macomb County.
Make a motion, we send this to the full board.
Support?
Justin, do you want to approach the podium for just a minute or two?
Good evening.
I spoke with you a little bit about this earlier today, and I don't know if you just wanted to fill everybody in. I know it's
Sure, so this is our annual UASC grant. As you can see, we took a little bit of a hit this year, and that's due to Macomb County basically getting zeros across the board for critical infrastructure, basically since the grant began. So they refigured those costs, and they took approximately $12,000 from each of the UASC units in Southeast Michigan and added that all up and gave them that additional $58,000 and added that to Macomb's piece. So Macomb County got a little boost to fill in for their critical infrastructure, which is appropriate. So we're down to $291,000 and some change. So it fell off a little bit. I think in your memo you see that we've lost a significant amount of money since 2010. We went from $717,000 all the way down to $291,000. So in November, we're probably going to ask for another $50,000 in personnel costs just to cover all the people that we have, but it'll be appropriate in November. It's not appropriate now to ask for it. But this is our annual grants money to pay for our people and to pay for some of our grants projects that we get every year.
Thanks, Justin.
There used to be over a couple million back
There
in
is.
the day, 2.3 kind
Right.
of stuff. Wow. On my
Yeah, so,
board, so.
Any other questions? Thank you, Justin.
thank you.
We have a motion, we have support. All in favor? I'm sorry?
Aye.
Roll call?
So moved.
So moved,
Thank
yeah.
you.
Oh, we didn't have support.
We didn't have a motion or support.
Oh, we didn't?
I made a motion.
Ah, Dave made a motion.
Oh, I didn't get that. Okay.
Okay, all right.
I supported it.
Okay, sorry. Continue.
That was just a check. to
All in
see-
favor?
Yeah.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right. Any other judiciary public safety matters?
Motion to receive and file packets?
Support.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion to adjourn.
Support.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Meeting adjourned.
I'd like to call to order the Environmental Public Works Committee meeting of August 1st. If the clerk would take the roll, please.
Commissioner McConnell, Commissioner Baldwin,
Here.
Commissioner Heidemann, Commissioner Bohm,
Here.
Commissioner Dunn,
Here.
Commissioner Rushing,
Still here.
Commissioner Greatop.
Here. Any additions or deletions?
Make a motion, we accept the agenda as presented.
Support.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Any updates?
Citizens to be heard.
Citizens to be heard? I could take it in any order I want, sir.
I'm sorry. We accepted the agenda. We have to do it in that order.
Oh, I want to readjust that. All right. No citizens to address? You can see I'm trying to get to the end here. Updates, conceptual initiatives, nothing. No old business, new business. Item A, the 2020 St. Clair County Remonumentation Plan.
I would move this be sent to the full board.
Support.
I'm going to ask if our surveyor, Mr. Coop, would mind stepping up for just a minute, just to give us a real quick rundown. Some of us don't know much about how this works in a 2-minute display. It took me almost 9 years to learn how to say remonumentation.
Back in 1990, they passed a law, the state of Michigan did, for the surveyors to go out and recover and remonument all the original government section corners that were set back started back in 1810. And our county was done around 1817, 1823, somewhere in that time period. So the act required us, each county, to write and have approved by this board a county plan. And from our original county plan was passed in 1992, we've never had a revision to that. So in 2014, the state revised the act, and we were required to revise our county plan. So that's where we are today. Some of the issues were a maintenance program. When we get all done monumenting every corner in the county, we go into a maintenance program and we basically start all over again. So,
Job security, huh?
yeah, that'll be about 2054 if we're still around that long. So
You're not going to be here?
Well, maybe.
All right. Define for me, or the first corners that you're talking about, what exactly are those?
You only wanted a minute.
I'm not, when they refer to, you have to go out and remonument those.
Every mile, every half mile, and you can envision these guys with axe crews and literally chains and compasses going up every half mile. They would survey and set a post, and most of it was posts. 1810, the original private claims were the French had given claims to settlers before us. And so that we had to settle all those claims before we started the actual subdividing of the state. It was initially done to pay our soldiers that fought in the Revolutionary War. We didn't have any money, so we gave them land as payment for their service originally.
Good.
And also to sell the land to fund the new government. So it's done basically every half mile. There's a point out there.
Thank you. David?
And I talked to Kerry about this, anything I have questions about, I try to get my answers prior to, but in Riley Township, historically, I have the last full quarter section. There's people that own more land, but ours is still intact. And right in the back corner, right in the center of the square mile of 640 acres, there's this cement thing. Is that what you're talking about?
Possibly.
Okay.
That
Yeah,
might
there's
be
this
that
cement
might.
thing right on the corner, right where the four properties come together.
That probably is. You have to do your research and figure out if that's really, if it's just,
It's not a fence post.
if it was an old fence, if it's, yeah, then it probably is the corner, yeah. And if it's a section corner,
Pretty good sized piece
yeah,
of concrete.
we would be remonumenting that eventually, yeah.
Anything else?
Just 3 years ago when I took over, we really didn't have a count of how many corners are in the county. We didn't have a count of how many we had done, and we didn't have a map set. Over the last 3 years, I've been working with the state trying to match their number with our number and going back through all the records. And I do have a map set today that we've put together on every township, which shows every corner that we've set, and we've listed every corner that has to be set. So if you're interested in your particular township or townships, you want to see what has been done, I have that map set here.
The state pays for this? This is state funded?
Well, the funding comes from Public Act 346, which was the act rate. So every document that's recorded down at Register of Deeds, we get $4 for that fee. That money goes to the state. The state then has this formula where they calculate how much money comes back to us. It's not dollar for dollar, because some of the poorer counties, we give some money to the poorer counties so they can do their program. So that's kind of how it works. And then we put out contracts to the local surveyors to go out and do this work.
Appreciate the update. Questions? I know more about it than I did. Thank you very much.
Our council has seen it and approved it. The state of Michigan has seen it and, give us cursory approval, and our peer review has read through it. So I think we're in pretty good shape that way, so.
Thank you.
Thanks, Chuck.
We have a motion and a support. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Item B, contract approval request, Airport Caterpillar loader repair.
Make a motion to send it to the full board.
Support.
Any questions about this? All in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Motion carries. Item C, lease renewal agreement approval airport. This is for final action.
Make a motion, we approve this for final action.
Support.
I got a quick question while Kathy's here. totally unrelated to this, but how many planes came in for the boat races this weekend?
For St. Clair,
Yeah.
we had 4.
No, it doesn't have anything to do with anything, I'm just curious.
For St. Clair offshore racing, we had 4 jets that came in loaded with crew. And then for the Port Huron to Mackinac, we had 3 that came in loaded with their crew. So yeah,
Buy a bunch of
we
fuel,
did
I
good.
hope.
Pardon?
They buy a bunch of fuel. I
Every
hope.
one of them. Yes,
There
they
you
did.
go. Another
Yes, they
thing
did.
you don't think about with some of these events, right?
And rental cars
Yeah.
and the hotels.
Yeah.
Very
Yeah,
cool.
so, yep, was good. Thank you.
Anything else? We had a motion, did we have a second on that?
Yes.
Okay, that's a lease approval. You want a roll call vote, please?
Commissioner Baldwin,
Yes.
Commissioner Bohm,
Yes.
Commissioner Dunn,
Yes.
Commissioner Rushing,
Yes.
Commissioner Greatop.
Yes. Item D, 7D, the addendum to construction contract requests out at the landfill.
I'd make the motion to this be sent to the full board.
Support.
I have a motion and a support. Discussion, questions? Matt's not here, but if we have questions, get a hold of him, or he'll more than likely be here at the next meeting, so. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Smith Creek landfill, under activities reports.
Make motion, we receive and file.
Support? Discussion, questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Any other environmental public works matters? No information only, receive and file, guys.
So moved.
Support.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Motion to adjourn.
Support.
All in favor?
Aye.
Meeting's adjourned.
All right, here we go. I'd like to call the Ways and Means Committee to order. Roll call, please.
Commissioner McConnell, Commissioner Baldwin,
Here.
Commissioner Heidemann, Commissioner Bohm,
Here.
Commissioner Dunn,
Here.
Commissioner Greatop,
Here.
Commissioner Rushing.
Here. Additions, deletion, changes to the agenda. I see we have one.
Make a motion that we add item 2A at the very bottom, and that this board go into closed session for union negotiations.
Support.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion passed. Can I have a motion to accept the amended agenda?
So moved.
Support?
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion passed. Do we have any citizens wishing to be heard? Seeing none. Updates. We have an audit presentation.
A short audit presentation.
Did the clock start?
It is what it is.
Good evening. My name is Karen Shafiq, and I am with Stewart, Bovee, and Whipple, who came out and did the 2018 audit for the county this year. I appreciate you giving us the opportunity to come and present the results of your audit tonight. We began the audit back in early April. The administrative staff had taken a lot of time and effort to prepare for the audit, and they did a really good job this year, I want to say. And I'm going to go through just that presentation booklet that's in with the agenda, as your full report is close to 200 pages. So we'll just primarily go through your general fund this evening. One of the first sections in your report is an introductory letter that gives a reader a good description of the county and the great things that have been going on in the county this year. It also includes the 2017 Certificate of Achievement for Excellence in Financial Reporting. And that has been, or the 2018 report was submitted for the certificate as well. And then the next part of your audit report is the independent auditor's report. And this is the only part of the report that is Stewart, Bovee, and Whipple's. You've got an unmodified opinion this year, or a clean opinion, which is the best you can get and what you strive for each year. On page 1 of the presentation packet, we'll go through mainly just your general fund. At the end of December 2018, your combined general fund had $31,688,048 in assets. It had liabilities of $19,109,630. deferred inflows of resources of $184,100, and a fund balance of $12,394,318. That next section there goes through the statement of revenues, expenditures, and changes in fund balance. That first part is your budget basis general fund that had total revenues of $58,057,563, total expenditures of $52,832,884, and then some other financing uses of $4,889,735. For a net change in your fund balance in your budget basis general fund of a positive $334,944. There are also two other funds that are included for GAAP reporting of your general fund, which include the budget incentive fund that had a decrease in fund balance for 2018 of $245,656, and the development revolving fund, which had no change in fund balance this year, for a net change in the fund balance of the combined general fund of $89,288. At section C, there's a split out or a breakout of your fund balance for the year. There's non-spendable fund balance of a little over $2.5 million. There's committed fund balance of $1.3 million, which is the balance of your budget incentive fund. Some assigned fund balance of $37,944, and the remaining $8,487,332 is unassigned and available for use. On page 2, just gives a breakout a little bit more of your fund balance in your general fund and what makes up the non-spendable, committed, and assigned fund balances. And then there's two other reports that we did issue with the audit report. One is a report on internal control. There are no material weaknesses of the county during 2018, and then also a management letter, which is required, a required letter to the board, and we did go over with management at the end of the audit. Part 2 there talks about your other major governmental funds and their balance sheets, which show the assets, liabilities, and the remaining fund balance of each fund. And then the next section, you can see what revenues, expenditures, and the changes of those funds are. Page 3 of that packet goes through your non-major governmental funds and their revenues, expenditures, and changes in fund balance. And then page 4 goes through the classification of each of the non-major governmental funds, fund balances, and their restricted and committed balances at the end of 2018. Down below goes through your enterprise funds, which are presented on the accrual basis of accounting, and goes through what the current assets and liabilities and deferred inflows and outflows are of those funds, along with the net position. And then page 5 goes through your statement of revenues and expenses for each of those funds as well. It also gives what your net income and loss is for the year for each of those. And then part 3 down there, or right in the middle of the page, is their net working capital of each of those enterprise funds with a comparison to 2017's net working capital. Section E there goes through your internal service fund with a condensed statement of net position for an internal service fund, which provides insurances to your county. And then your statement of revenues and expenses and net working capital as well, with a comparison to 2017. Page 6 is a summary of your fiduciary funds, so your basic retirement system and other post-employment benefits funds, along with your landfill private purpose trust fund. And then goes through the changes of those that net position as well, the increase or decrease. Page 7 and 8 are pie charts of your general fund's revenues and expenditures, giving the source of your revenue really on a percentage basis for both 2018 and 2017, and also on page 8, the function of where the expenditures were spent. Both pages, they're fairly comparable percentages over the 2 years, really 2 or 3% at the most different in each of the years. Page 9 is a graph that shows your total fund balance of the general fund, your budget basis general fund for the past 10 years. And as you can see, it's increased or remained stable each of those 10 years, which has been very difficult during those years. So, and then page 10 is another graph that shows the total revenues and expenditures of your general fund over the past 10 years. And as you can see there, your expenditures have been really controlled with the changes in what your revenues have been each of the years, and have been at or less than the revenues each year. So just a little comparison to go back and show a little history there. So if anyone has questions, I'd be very happy.
How long have you guys been doing, I've been 15 years, you've been here every year since I've been here. How long have you been doing the counties? 25. Yeah. Okay.
Well, it's not directly to you, but it's related to the employees and the county. When we had that hit, and I just want to give the employees and the whole county how we've worked together to get that and have these excellent financing that we've been doing since the 2008 hit there. And got to give the employees a big thank you for what they've done in our getting to where we're at.
Yeah, and I would just echo that. I had the conversation with Georgia, and I said, Georgia, what you will find is the information. I'm not going to say our job's easy, but I will say it's easier because of the information that's given to us has gone through accounting, administration, to Gary, to by the time it hits our desk in somewhat of a different capacity, you were in a Fort Gratiot level because chief cook and bottle washer, right? You had to do all the stuff and put it together. And I mean, by the time this stuff gets to us, it's been very well vetted and just, you know, so it definitely makes our job easier when we have to make decisions. So,
With our previous administrator and the current board and then some of the previous ones, the actions that were taken allowed us to get here. And Howard always has a saying that, and he's a Democrat, our lone Democrat representing the city of Port Huron, but it's a lot easier to fix things and maintain things if you have money. And he's been on board being fiscally responsible. So it's been great working with this board and the employees.
Very good.
Do we have a motion yet?
We don't need one.
Okay, you don't need a motion to accept the audit? Okay. All right, any other questions? Thank you.
Oh, thank you.
thank you.
Thank you.
Do we have any conceptual initiatives?
None.
Any old business? Seeing none. 7A, drain office, manning table change. Motion to send that to the full board.
So moved.
Support.
Any discussion?
Do you have anything on it,
Drain
Karen?
commissioner here, we could hear from him on this?
No, I thought he was going to be here to present this evening, so if you have questions, I can make sure he comes to your full board or get those questions answered for you.
This has been reviewed, I'm assuming, internally by you and all the other stuff and recommendation.
Yes, it has gone to finance and HR.
Yeah, okay.
Any other discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion passed. Probate court, manning table request.
I'd move this be sent to the full board.
Support.
Any discussion?
I just like the fact that it saves $10,000.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion passed. Now, do I do the closed session now, or do I wait until after the adjournment?
After the adjournment.
Okay.
Well, other ways, information only.
Okay. Any other ways and means matters? Seeing none? No
Motion to
information
receive
only?
and-
I have one that I would like to share with you. If you're not doing anything tomorrow, I am the host of the Paul Miller Show from 6 a.m. till 10 p.m. I've got Mark Hackle coming up to co-host
6 a.m.
from 7 to
10 a.m.
9. And I've got the governor's going to be on tomorrow, president of AT&T, president of DTE, Candace Miller, and a few others. Got a pretty good lineup. So 6 a.m., get out of bed.
I'll be listening.
I'll be up.
I already sent you my text, buddy.
I'll have one of us
Actually, I
listening.
think the governor's on at like 8:40, and some of the others, some more of the interviews are the 7 to 9 time frame. So,
All right, thank you. Could I have a motion to receive and file?
No moved.
Support.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed?
I'll make a motion that we adjourn to a closed session and then adjourn the meeting thereafter.
Support.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion passed.